do a quickie on the one thing that if you changed this would probably change a lot of things with your thyroid health. So what's that one thing? Processed foods. Let's dive in a little bit. Why processed foods? The minute we process something, we make it harder for our body to digest. So that's a starting point. It can cause inflammatory responses because when we process things, it can cause particularly oils, and I'll dive into oils in a second, but we can cause it to become rancid, and therefore that becomes inflammatory. Now, don't forget, thyroid disease is an inflammatory disease. It both causes inflammation and is made worse by inflammation. So it's a bit of a spiral thing going on. Inflammation needs to always be top of mind when it comes to whatever we're doing. Rather than thinking about don't eat gluten, don't eat this, don't eat dairy, rather than all of that, your priority for me, to me, and for my world is what processed foods can I remove? We're not talking about holidays. We're not talking about special celebrations. There's always going to be cake involved. Okay? But for the majority of the time that, you know, for your everyday, what's the 80-20 rule? 80% of the time, what are you eating? Are you living off processed foods? What's processed? Oils are processed. Okay, that's probably one of the biggest one that all dietary protocols across the board say, can your oils, the canola oils, the polyunsaturated fatty acids, okay? PUFAs actually interrupt our pathway, our thyroid pathway. So that's why it's like top of my mind of what can we remove. And polyunsaturated fatty acids or vegetable oils are in everything. If you buy anything that's pre-made in a bottle, in a can, whatever, 9.9 times out of 10, there is a vegetable oil, a canola oil, a something oil in the ingredients. I even found it in my favorite lemon pepper spice mix. Okay, because I went looking, I was like, what else is it in? It is in my lemon pepper. So every time I sprinkled lemon pepper on avocado or tomato, I was getting a dose of vegetable oil. So it's tricky. It's in everything. So the least amount of anything pre-purchased, pre-bought, pre-made, the less of these things we're going to get. That would be your biggest thing. If you could just avoid vegetable oils, if you just said to yourself today, I'm never having vegetable oils again, and every product you picked up in the supermarket that had vegetable oil in it and you put it down, you'd probably remove 90% of the processed foods that are out there. Okay, so just go with that if you want to make it really simple. So let's look at even if we make the processed food, like, but Kylie, I have the organic flour, I've got the organic gluten-free flour, I've got the spelt, I've got the ancient grains, whatever. I've got eggs from my chickens in the garden. I've got all the organic stuff. I've got all the, I make my own cake. Still processed. It's still processed. And when things are put together, they become something else. So you've got to remember, water is water, flour is flour. When you combine them, they make a really awesome glue. As soon as you start combining things, you run into problems. So even if you make your own cake, yep, as I said earlier, we're always going to have the cake most of the time. Making your cake is definitely a step better than buying the cake that's got the numbers and stuff in it, right? However, if you make cake every day and keep it, you know, on the bench top for everyone because it's homemade, it's old school, right? You're still having that glue going down inside your body, as tasty as that glue might be. This would be the one thing, if we remove this, would change so many things about our health. And you may find that it was one of those processed foods that was contributing to your fatigue, to your weight gain, to your weight loss, to your anxiety. Who knows, right? Because we have so many symptoms with thyroid disease. Try it. And you will be startlingly aware of the fact that we live off processed foods. Even if we make the spaghetti bolognese from scratch, 9 times out of 10, we're reaching for the bottle of passata, aren't we? Processed. Okay. It'll have at least one preservative in it for you to have been able to pick it up off the shelf. It will always have some kind of oil in it. Start to pay attention to the processed foods you're consuming and see how far you can get. Challenge yourself each day to go each day without any kind of processed item. And you will find yourself cooking very cleanly from scratch. It will be a really interesting experiment, but this will make all the difference in your thyroid health. Let me know if you're going to do it. I'll be very interested to hear.